She sat on the bench, trembling as everyone passed her by, eyes averted, hearts closed. No one noticed the old woman lost in the chaos of the city. No one, that is, except him. A black teen, barely noticed himself, reached out his hand. What happened next would change everything. But before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story that shows the world as it really is.
It was a quiet afternoon in the city. Marcus, a 16-year-old with a quick smile and a worn backpack, was making his usual walk home from school. He knew every corner, every crack in the sidewalk, every familiar face, or at least he thought he did. Life hadn't been easy, but he carried it with a quiet resilience, a heart that noticed things others overlooked. Meanwhile, across the street, an old woman shuffled slowly, clutching her coat, her eyes searching for something she couldn't name. People passed her without a second glance. Most didn't even see her, but Marcus did. And before we go any further, hit that subscribe button, because stories like this remind us of the moments that can change everything in the smallest gestures. Something about that day felt different, though Marcus couldn't know it yet. That simple walk was about to turn into a test of courage, compassion, and a truth the city wasn't ready to face.
Marcus stepped closer to the bench, his hand hovering uncertainly before finally brushing against the old woman's trembling fingers. Immediately, a ripple of whispers cut through the air. Some eyes narrowed, others shifted away, uncomfortable with what they were seeing. A man in a crisp suit muttered under his breath, loud enough for Marcus to catch, "Why are you bothering her?" The words weren't loud, but their weight hit harder than any shout. Marcus froze, his heart hammering, but he didn't pull away. Not yet. As he gently guided her toward a nearby cafe, a group of teenagers snickered, pointing out how out of place she looked. Their laughter wasn't innocent, it was sharp, cutting. Marcus felt the sting of their judgment, not just toward the woman, but toward himself for daring to care. The city felt colder, heavier, as if it had suddenly turned against them. Every step was a battle against invisible barriers, against people too blinded by apathy or prejudice to notice humanity in front of them. She looked up at him, eyes full of worry and gratitude, and whispered something he barely caught. "Thank you. Nobody helps anymore." That simple phrase echoed louder than any insult, sinking into Marcus's chest with the weight of truth. Around them, the crowd continued, some with judgment, some with indifference, most simply walking past. And right there, in that moment, Marcus realized the world wasn't fair. Some kindnesses, no matter how small, felt revolutionary. Before moving forward, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because these stories aren't just tales, they are reminders of courage in a world that often looks away. They finally reached the cafe's door, but the tension didn't fade. The manager shot a suspicious glance, muttering under his breath about troublemakers. A few customers whispered, glancing at Marcus and the old woman as if they didn't belong. Marcus could feel the weight of every stare, every silent accusation pressing down. He wanted to shrink, to disappear, but the old woman's hand in his reminded him why he couldn't. Suddenly, a commotion erupted near the street corner, voices shouting, a door slamming. Marcus turned, heart racing, unsure if danger was coming from curiosity, anger, or something worse. The city had eyes everywhere, some friendly, most indifferent, and a few openly hostile. And in that heartbeat, he understood the invisible walls that society had built, walls of race, fear, and prejudice that could trap someone like her, and even someone like him, if they weren't careful. As the old woman paused, leaning on her cane, Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The simple act of reaching out had stirred forces bigger than either of them. Every step forward felt heavier, every glance more threatening, and just as they prepared to move inside, a shadow fell across their path. Someone familiar, someone's reaction could either help or hurt everything they had fought to protect.
The cafe doors swing open, and in an instant, everything shifted. A man at the counter glared, his voice sharp. "Hey, you don't belong here." The words weren't just rude, they carried the weight of accusation, prejudice, and years of unspoken judgment. Marcus felt his stomach drop, but he tightened his grip on the old woman's hand. Around them, whispers grew louder, some mocking, others questioning, as if their presence had upset the order of the world. The old woman froze, fear flashing across her face. Marcus's heart pounded. He had never felt the sting of racism so close, so personal. People stared, phones out, some recording, some judging. The weight of everyone's silence pressed down on him. Every step forward felt like climbing a mountain, every breath a battle against injustice. He could feel the old woman trembling, her hope flickering, and it made him angrier than he had ever been. Then a sharp laugh cut through the tension, louder than any whisper. A group of men leaned against the wall, smirking. "What's this? You trying to play hero?" Marcus knew it wasn't about him. It was about what he represented. Courage in a world that preferred to look away. Empathy in a place that punished it. He took a deep breath, refusing to let their hate define the moment. The old woman's eyes met his, and in that glance, Marcus saw something that steadied him. Trust. She had no reason to believe in the world anymore, but she believed in him, in this act of kindness. Before we move on, make sure to subscribe, because this story isn't just hers or his. It's about every small, brave act that stands against the darkness around us. Suddenly, the man at the counter stepped closer, his tone harsher, and the cafe seemed to hold its breath. Marcus felt the full weight of the injustice, the fear, the judgment, the hatred, but also the spark of something bigger. In that instant, he realized standing up wasn't about winning. It was about refusing to let cruelty pass unnoticed. And then, just as the tension seemed unbearable, the old woman whispered something that would change everything. Something no one expected.
Marcus felt the tension release like a held breath as the old woman's hand squeezed his. Around them, the murmurs faded, some faces softening, others looking away in shame. What had started as a simple act of kindness had exposed the harsh truth. Prejudice and indifference can surround us everywhere, but courage and empathy can break through, even if just for a moment. The old woman's eyes glistened with tears, a mixture of relief and gratitude. "Thank you," she whispered again, but this time it carried more than words. It carried hope, acknowledgement, and the reminder that human connection still matters. Marcus walked away that day forever changed. He realized that standing up against injustice, no matter how small, could ripple far beyond what anyone could see. And that's the thing. This isn't just their story. It's the story of countless people ignored, overlooked, or dismissed because of the color of their skin or the assumptions others make. It's a reflection of a world that often looks away, yet still offers moments where courage, kindness, and recognition can spark change. Before you leave, think about this. How many people are passing by injustice without noticing it? How many hands could you reach out and hold if only you dared? If this story moved you, share it, because stories like this don't just end on screen. They continue when we choose empathy over apathy, courage over fear, and humanity over indifference. In the end, the lost old woman found more than a hand to hold that day. She found someone willing to see her. And perhaps if we all take a moment to truly see each other, the world could change, one small act at a time.